like I say, there's really nothing here, but there's people. The people come together, and that's what I like in this area, is that if you need something, somebody's there.
That ought to be our #1 priority as a country, that every family has food on the table, that no one goes without food.
Good people do exist. I find them every day. That's the truth.
During one of our Best You Best Me meetings, I mentioned to one of our directors that we should do an act of kindness in West Virginia. Before I could finish my sentence, she said, McDowell County. I looked up the county on the internet and realized that the people there are suffering due to the loss of coal jobs and 2 major floods in early 2000. We decided that the best method would be to get in touch with local priests in the county and get some guidance from them on how we can best assist. After calling countless churches, I finally got in touch with Father Tony. I made a plan to drive up there and meet him. I also loaded the truck full of food, as the church held a food drive every few weeks to distribute food and clothes to those in need in the area. Here's my experience with the wonderful people of Welch. You can hear it in their own words about the challenges they're facing and what help they need the most.
Father Tony, it's such an honor to meet you.
Hey.
Great to meet you. So what are the luxuries in the area?
Luxuries in the area are things that most women take for granted. They might get a haircut once a year, and that's including men. Men don't often get haircuts. A dollar thing of nail polish, so they can do their nails, because women are women. They may pick up a $2.98 rose bush because they want to have some beauty around them if they can afford it at all. And they're happy with that. They're pleased with that. Mm-hmm. They're very, very simple and very gracious people.
Well, I'm not originally from this area. We've had so many stores that have closed here, the Walmarts, all that kind of stuff, and I've noticed that this area and these people, they get very humble when somebody does something for them. It's like a Christmas for them, you know, because a lot of people have a lot of poverty here, and it's sad for me to see the kids that are still here and they have nothing. So by them getting things like food or clothing or any of that kind of stuff, it's like I say, it's like another Christmas for them.
This is actually one of the poorer areas of the country. There's no stores. Like having a Walmart within a 30-minute drive, you're used to that down there, and here we have to drive an hour to get out to a department store. This county's down to, I think, maybe 2 grocery stores that I've seen. We have a lot of dollar stores, but they don't always have everything you need. I know this county was devastated by at least 2 floods back in 2000 and 2002. A lot of the population of this county moved after the floods, and there's a lot of families that stayed, but even in the last year I've noticed a drop in the population in this area, where people have either moved away or gone somewhere else to look for work because they just can't find it here.
It's sad to see a vibrant, beautiful town die and slowly die. You see the houses falling, you see the emptiness, you see the lack of necessities, and yet they have family reunions and things, and I can gain weight with the food. I mean, it's all home cooked. Just table food that a lot of people probably wouldn't even eat, but they put it together and you can gain weight on it. I'll tell you, it's delicious.
God is good. And he loves us all and everything. You know, and it's just, but you can't say nothing else no better. But God is good. And he blesses us and he loves us. You know, he asks for you to, you know, just to, the door's always open for you to come in and accept the Lord. And that's what he wants us to do. And he's give us the opportunity to receive him and everything. As they say, the door's open. All you got to do is open for him to come into your heart. And so that's just what I believe.
And what is it that makes you happy?
Just seeing other people be happy.
It's very much like the community's got the community's back down here, and that's what I like about it. Welch has opened up to me like my hometown never did. I don't know, a long time ago I realized happiness was as much a choice as it was anything. You know, you can choose to be happy with the cards you're dealt, or you can choose not to. And your attitude and outlook on life vastly affects what you're going to get out of it.
What could you guys use more of here?
Diapers.
We could use diapers. We can use pots and pans, kitchen things.
Sheets and blankets.
Sheets and
we haven't had a
blankets
lot
and
of
towels.
blankets now. See, it's like everything. Sometimes you get a lot of stuff when we get a delivery in. And on the food side, it's your more nutritious food: peanut butter, beans, rice, macaroni, that kind of stuff.
So all of the clothes and the kitchen utensils and all this is silverware and all have been donated.
This is all
Everything.
donated.
Food.
Everything here is
The
donated.
only
different,
thing
yeah.
we buy is food.
Wow. Okay.
And we do spend a little bit on diapers, but not, we
So
don't.
what we get in is what we put out. And sometimes there's lots of pots and pans, sometimes there's not any. Sometimes there's lots of dishes, sometimes there's not.
What's the best part of your work?
Being able to talk with our people, converse with them. That's the best part. Meeting them face to face. That's wonderful.
You really have to rub shoulders with the poor. It will change you. Yeah. And so that's the one thing, you know. It's wonderful that people send money, and yes, and that's needed, and all that's fine. But we encourage you to really rub shoulders with the poor. You will learn a lot about yourself, and they will teach you many, many wonderful lessons about life.
Can you
That
give us
those of us who are, you know, fairly well-to-do and have security and all that, we have no understanding of what it's like to be poor. We have no understanding of what it's like to never be affirmed, always be considered, oh, it's those people. And you begin to realize that we're partially responsible for calling them those people. You know, and I don't care what your religious background is or your philosophy of life is, but they're all, I think, based on the same issue, which is care for other people. And I'm afraid that some of us fall short.
For sure.
Can you give us an example of a time when maybe someone poor touched something to you, or taught you something that, or made an impression on you, or said something that?
Let me think. All the time. Eugene.
Yeah.
Lots of different stories. Okay. Eugene, was a guy living in a house by himself, and he was a retired miner, disabled, living on what, not even $600 a month probably back then. And Eugene had a leaky roof. And when I went to check the roof, and I needed help with, and when I went to check the roof, this wasn't just a leaky roof. I mean, it was like it was encouraging the rain to come in. So he couldn't use his bathroom, he couldn't use his bedroom, he couldn't use his kitchen. He basically was left with one room with a coal stove in the corner. The room was covered with black because of the coal stove. And he had a very bad back. That was his disability from the mines. And he slept on a ratty couch with a piece of plywood on it. And we, a group of volunteers, not necessarily myself, went in there. And I kept saying to Eugene, so we went in to fix it. But anyway, when I visited Eugene, I had to be very careful. I kept saying, well, I don't know if we can afford to fix this. I don't know if we have the people to fix it. I don't know anything. Don't count on anything. And in this mess that he lived in, sleeping on this plywood in this soot-covered room with a pan of potatoes, just boiling potatoes. That's what he lived off, these potatoes. Eugene said to me, he looked at me, he said, I don't care if you fix my roof. I thought, what do you mean you don't care if I fix your roof? He said, the only thing that means anything to me is that somebody cares. Now the rest of the story. They did a good job on the roof, the volunteer group, and it was not cheap. About a month or two later, I hear that Eugene has died. And of course, being very practical, I said to myself, darn, and we just spent all that money on the roof. But then I realized, they said, Eugene had died and they found him dead in bed. I thought, that was the greatest thing I've done in years. Eugene died in bed, not on that ratty couch on a piece of plywood. That's the story of Eugene.
What message would you guys have to encourage anyone that would want to be helpful to this county?
I would say what you don't need, think about sharing with those who do need.
Yeah.
Very simple. Anything you don't need and don't use all the time, someone else could use.
Yeah. We love having you come down and help us in West Virginia. But there's people down your street that need help. If not money, they need a kind word, they need some concern, they need some caring. And probably there are people, even in your richest counties, not everybody's rich. There are poor people every place. And if you
Search
start
them
looking
out.
around, you'll
Yeah,
see them.
find them.
Find them.
The people of McDowell County are in urgent need of food, clothing, and daily necessities. Best You, Best Me is conducting a food drive where we will fill a truck or two in Loudoun County and drive it to McDowell County on June 9th, 2019. If you would like to help out, contact us at bestyoubestme.org.